We're outside the Chandler headquarters of Primavera Online Charter School. And if you've driven through the freeways around Phoenix, you've probably seen one of these billboards. Thanks in part to spending more than $4 million on aggressive advertising, Primavera has become the state's largest online charter school with more than 20,000 students. That amount of advertising Primavera does is close to what it spends, what it pays its teachers. So, if Primavera doesn't spend much of its money on teachers, where does the state funding go? A large chunk, nearly $8.8 million, went to Chief Executive and Founder Damian Kramer last year. He paid himself a shareholder distribution that was more than the salaries of every single player on the Arizona Diamondbacks roster except for Zach Greinke, Paul Goldschmidt, and Brad Ziegler. He's also one of the highest paid CEOs among all of Arizona's publicly held companies. But that's not the only way state education funds were used to help Mr. Kramer. Primavera spent nearly $25 million last year for online curriculum and services from a company he owns that's now called StrongMind. Primavera, since at least 2010, also has diverted millions of education dollars annually to private investments that were used to ultimately benefit Kramer. In 2012, Primavera took 71% of its state education funds and invested those dollars, more than $22 million, into stocks and other investments. At a traditional public school, that would be illegal. By 2015, Primavera had diverted so many education funds that it accumulated an investment portfolio of $36 million. The investments included bonds, stocks, and real estate. Mr. Kramer declined numerous requests for comment. Governor Doug Ducey was asked about Primavera using state education dollars to pay Mr. Kramer more than $8 million. The governor, he said he's not concerned about CEO pay at Arizona's charter schools, as long as they're following the law. He said the focus should be on a school's results. At Primavera, State Department of Education records show that 1 out of every 2 kids enrolled drops out. That's a 49% dropout rate, the third worst among more than 800 Arizona public schools. At the state's other 19 virtual charter schools, which also teach at-risk kids just like Primavera, the average dropout rate was 11%. To read more about Primavera and its founders making as much as big leaguers, go to AZ Central.